the other stick in her hand to hit Ami's back hard. She said in an excited voice, pulling the strings of her neck, "You blood! Aren't you lying non-stop even after being caught? What is this about you that you have no life? You're lying in front of RuPaul Bai. You have such a big chest. Who are you trying to save? Who are you trying to save?" RuPaul, fuming with anger, rolled up the sleeves of his Punjabi. Unable to control his anger, he kicked Ami in the lower abdomen with a forceful kick. He gritted his teeth and said to Sejal, "Don't waste time standing around and size up the son of a bitch first. Will a thief ever confess the truth after stealing? If that were the case, the thief wouldn't have been remanded and beaten. It would have been done in a simple way. Call this bastard to court, then see how he grumbles and confesses the truth." The four brothers started kicking, hitting, and punching me indiscriminately. To save my life, I screamed, "Brother, please let me go. Give me a chance to say something. Please don't kill me, please." At this moment, none of Ami's screams are reaching their ears. Rather, they are consumed by the desire for revenge. The people of the area are watching their brutal fight in a crowd. No one is coming to save Ami even once. Rather, they are enjoying this very much. It seems as if they are excitedly watching the sacrificial cow being slaughtered. Seeing this horrific scene of killing, the hairs of the village shivered. How can someone kill someone like this? Can they commit such brutal torture? He knew RuPaul as angry, but today he knew that he was so inhuman. Of course, it would not be right to blame RuPaul unilaterally here. Rather, Ami and Pisa are equally guilty here. However, he could not understand the double planning here. What is the discussion about here? Nihal, who was beside Niharika, was also very angry now. Seeing Ami being beaten, his hands and feet were also shaking. So, roaring with anger, he folded Punjabi's hands and said, "This isn't happening. The January has to be called more like a slur." Just then, Niharika and Nihal's parents stopped Nihal. Ashraf Sikdar angrily grabbed his son's hand and said in a stern voice, "Where are you going?" To show off your knowledge. They will understand their family's affairs. Why would you go there unnecessarily to poke your nose? Besides, you'll be divorced tomorrow, so it would be better for you not to get involved in such ridiculous problems. Besides, it's not just the boy's fault, but the girl's 50% fault here too. Instead of ruling at home, she came out to rule. Niharika's mother was so upset. She slapped her forehead and said in a low voice, "Oh God, where did I get my son married? My sister is a bad girl. My brother is a gangster. Why did I knowingly jump into this fire? What was going through my mind at that time? This is how I became a dishonorable person." Ashraf Sikdar calmed his wife down in a very soft voice and said, Marzina, what happened has happened. There's no point in regretting it now. Let's leave here before the people of the area raise any questions about us." Before the conversation could be over, the people of the area surrounded Niharika's family. They started asking why RuPaul was beating Ami like this. What was the real reason for this? Besides, where was their son's bride? Why did the bride leave the house on the wedding night? What was going on in their house? Plagued by such questions, Nihal was forced to rush inside the house with his parents. Only Niharika was left. He had to stop RuPaul now, at this very moment. Otherwise, it wouldn't be long before their bad name spread in the area. Just being in the area would be their fault. There is no end to their bad name. By getting involved, the man is harming his own family as well as harming Niharika's family. Being overly stubborn, Niharika rushed to the spot. Ami is almost half dead at this moment. She has lost all her strength and has become unconscious. Blood is dripping from her nose and mouth. There are wounds on various parts of her body. As soon as her purpose was achieved, RuPaul wiped her sweaty forehead. She said to her cousins in a tired voice, "Our job is done. Now get him admitted to the hospital and come back. And listen, tell his family too. I'll see how the son of a bitch can deny the truth now. If I somehow find out that any senior brother is behind this conspiracy, I'll break their chain of events. They don't know where they got their hands." Agreeing with RuPaul's words, RuPaul's cousins took Adam and Ami to the hospital. The people of the area also went to their respective homes out of fear of RuPaul. They could not understand anything about the incident, but undoubtedly, they did not look upon Niharika and RuPaul's family very well. Meanwhile, Niharika, furious, turned RuPaul towards her from behind. RuPaul, who was standing in a fighting form, looked at Niharika with his fierce gaze. He asked in a low voice, "What's the matter? What are you doing here?" "What do I mean here? It's not just me here. The entire neighborhood was here. Everyone was standing here in a crowd. Like detectives, they were interrogating me and my family about what was going on here, what was happening in our house since evening. We couldn't give them any answers. What answer should we give? The family we married my brother into is very bad. One is a gangster and the other is a prostitute. You have made us the laughingstock of the neighborhood." RuPaul was quite angry at Niharika's outspoken words. He raised his finger and scolded Niharika and said, "This is not your house, okay? You can raise your voice and talk to me as you please. This is not just your area, it is also my area. So lower your voice and talk." And yes, what did you say? I am a gangster and my sister is a slut. So why did you knowingly marry your brother to a lowly family like ours? For what gain? For what interest? Didn't the village get very angry after hearing what 2 or 4 people in the area said? And my sister's whole life was ruined. The stain on her character. What will happen to her? I will let her go so easily because she is this brother who has been throwing mud in her village. I will not find out the real truth. But don't clap with one hand, Mr. RuPaul. It's not just the boy's fault. Rather, your sister is equally guilty. All this happened today because of your sister's character. A black mark has been left on my brother's life. Not only ours, but also your family's honor has been damaged in the area. You have disciplined other people's sons a lot. Now go and discipline your own family. Make him understand that as the sheikh of the area, everyone is equal in your eyes." In the middle of the words, RuPaul's head seemed to spin. He stood up straight with his head in his hands. He started walking around her, humming. He had been under a lot of pressure from work for the last 3 days on the occasion of the wedding. He hadn't had a single drop of water in his stomach since morning. One storm after another was blowing over him, over his family. Seeing RuPaul's poor condition, Niharika was quite surprised. She asked in an anxious voice, "What's wrong? Why are you acting like a drug addict?" RuPaul's anger seemed to mount even more at Niharika's harsh words. He stubbornly ignored Niharika and started walking forward. He said in a fierce voice, "Where is Rascal from?" Even as she was moving forward, RuPaul stopped again. She suddenly stopped with her head in her hands. Niharika was about to say something even worse than rascally when she stopped. Realizing that RuPaul's condition was fatal, Niharika ran to RuPaul. Standing in front of the sick RuPaul, she said in a worried voice, "What's the problem? Are you feeling unwell? If you feel very sick, you can come to our house. We'll take you to rest." RuPaul's brilliance did not diminish even with his weak body. With a hateful expression, he spat on the ground and said, "Thu-thu! I will never set foot in the house from which I and my sister were humiliated and thrown out in this life." Look at the chatter. You're not stepping on the ground out of pride. Listen to what I'm saying. Did we just throw you out of the house? We were forced to throw you out because you did something wrong. Or maybe no one would dare to throw a new relative out of the house like that. Although RuPaul continued to walk forward, maintaining his stubbornness, he still did not have the courage to walk forward with his weak body. So he was forced to call out to Niharika. He said in a helpless voice, "Can you give me a ride home?" At first, Niharika was hesitant, but later she was forced to agree to take RuPaul to her house. Niharika kept in mind that they were still relatives until her brother's divorce. She was forced to be humane with Rupal. She took Rupal to their house. Pyasa can't stand anyone in his house, not even his mother. He is behaving strangely like a madman. He is throwing all the furniture in the house. He is taking a knife, a blade, and tying a scarf around his neck to commit suicide. He is pushing everyone out of the house. He is not giving anyone a chance to sit down and talk to him calmly. After returning home, seeing this strange behavior of Pyasa, Rupal entered Pyasa's room alone, his body still in pain. Along with Rupal, Niharika also entered Pyasa's room. As soon as she saw Rupal, Pyasa somehow calmed down. She threw the flower pot from her hand on the ground and ran to Ruapo, crying. She hugged Ruapo and said with tears in her eyes, "Brother, believe me, I am not unfaithful. I have never done anything wrong with Ami on my own, but I cannot deny that I am not pregnant. Surely something happened to Ami without my knowledge that I did not realize or understand at the time. In today's world, everyone makes love, brother. I did it too. So why did this injustice happen to me, brother?" Rupal softened only after seeing his sister's sobs. He felt that everything his sister said was believable. All the anger and resentment in the world seemed to be washed away by the salty water that fell from his sister's eyes. He sadly placed his hand on Pyasa's head. He said in an emotional voice, "Who said you are dishonest? The one who smeared your character is the dishonest one. Just see what I do to him. How can I get the truth out of his mouth? Just give me time tonight. By tomorrow morning, the sinner will confess the truth in his own mouth. I will absolve you of your sins." In the middle of the two siblings' conversation, Niharika, quite impulsively, threw a question at Pyasa and said, "Well, I wonder, can I talk to you a little bit personally? Actually, there are many things that are not clear to me. I want to clear those things. Since you are still my brother's wife, that's why I want to know about them." Pyasa stood calmly, lifting her head from Rupal's chest. She wiped her tears and nodded her head in agreement with Niharika's words. Niharika breathed a sigh of relief. Addressing Rupal, Niharika said with a sense of embarrassment, "Will you leave the house for a while?" Rupal also said in a straightforward voice, "No, say what you have to say in front of me." Niharika mentally cursed Rupal once and for all. She twisted her face and muttered, "Here comes my sister's bodyguard. Lovely Singh. I'll kill his sister if I find him alone. How can I ask about girls' personal matters in front of this bad guy? Don't I have any shame?" Seeing the silence of Niharika, Rupal took a deep breath. He said in an annoyed voice, "Say what you have to say without mumbling, you're wasting time." Niharika cleared her throat. Now, shedding her shyness, she threw a question at Pyasa and said, "Well, I wonder how you knew you were pregnant. Did you take a pregnancy test?" Pyasa lowered his head and surprised Niharika, saying, "No." "What? You mean no? So how did you know you were pregnant?" "Lakshmana sees." "You mean by seeing Lakshman? If you weren't even intimate with that boy, how did you suddenly know you were pregnant by seeing Lakshman?" "I had been feeling nauseous for a few days. I was feeling dizzy, nauseous, and my period had stopped for about 2 months. Since then, I thought I was pregnant. So I didn't have the courage to take a pregnancy test. But today, for some reason, I couldn't keep quiet. I told everyone about my inner fear."